So this was a curveball we didn't see, but God did. And he knew us coming and he set us up perfectly. And I'm so grateful we were homeschooling because we just could slow down.
Right.
And all of my friends, rallied around us with food and whatever we needed. I mean, it was just so great to live in that community that we talked about. We had help when the devastation occurred. And of course, a wonderful church and the people at Czech all helped us. And, I'd like to say we were over it in a year or two, but we weren't. It was just, it still is hard. The holidays are still hard. But what we were able to do is we just slowed down and we concentrated on reading, writing, and arithmetic. And we had farm animals, which were a great solace to everybody. And we have tons of movies. We watched all the classic musicals, A Fiddler on the all those. And we were just together. And because we had money and savings, and so I didn't have to go back to work right away, and I could just be with my kids. And the older kids needed to do stuff with me and talk, and the younger kids just acted out, and they were horrible. A couple more were horrible. We had encounters with police and other things, but again, our community was just, they loved us and they were helpful to us.
Right.
And we got through that season by just doing what we knew best, which was to be together and make learning an adventure and a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And so my one son said it was so funny. He said, a year after Dad died, we finally got back to using actual plates and real food from scratch. No more roast chicken and paper plate. But we just were on survival mode. And thankfully, my wonderful parents had raised a very determined young lady. And I just, was going to get up every morning and just keep going.
Yeah.
And there's a couple things I did. I took a couple of trips by myself. I just had to get away. And then I did start writing. I wrote my first book because I wanted the kids to all remember all the things they've done with their dad, but also then know about our grandparents. And so I wrote this 5-generation family memoir, and that was my coping. But it also was really good for the kids because they learned about people in our family that they'd never really heard about or known about. And I was able to tell them that there were a number of widows in our lineage who had to raise children in way worse circumstances. So anyway, it was really hard, but I survived, and God allowed me to now thrive. And, I don't know what I would have done if I hadn't trusted in him. I mean, I just don't even know how we did it. And there's the summer after my husband died, I just don't remember any details except the kids did go ahead and show some of their animals at the fair. And I went to the Florida Keys in August and met one of my daughters there. And that's the only thing I remember for the entire year until then we had Christmas. So what I really got out of it was I learned about the trauma that my traumatized kids had. Because then I
never thought about that. Yes.
And I understood about freeze and flight and fight because I want to do all those things.
Right. Yeah.
And so again, the thing about homeschooling is the parent learns so much while they're helping the children learn. And that was a season of us all learning about death. I mean, who wants to talk about death?
Right. And we don't have that in our curriculum usually.
No. And, we've seen death on the farm with our livestock, but not the person that we care about more than anything.
Right.
So anyway, that was a huge curveball, but somehow the Lord caused us to win the World Series and we survived.